Good evening and welcome to MNB World. You're watching News Mongolia. I'm your host, Arkhangai. And for our top stories, Mongolia's wheat and vegetable demand expected to be met by domestic production. Green Arrow campaign visits Arkhangai province. And engineering and technology specialists will stay in high demand in Mongolia. And for other news, stay tuned. Mongolian National Broadcaster has launched the Green Arrow campaign. The project team recently visited Arkhangai province to promote the benefits of investing in stocks and engaging in IPOs. The campaign's main goal is to improve people's awareness of trading in primary and secondary markets.
This is Bimba. He's a resident of Arkhangai province and knows a few things about stocks. He's a regular viewer of Mongolian National Broadcaster, so he knew the Green Arrow campaign was coming to his province. He's taken advantage of the opportunity to check on some stocks he owns. There was a long line at the door, and people were talking about stocks and securities. The people in line were interested in finding additional sources of income and were mostly curious about securities. They also came to the province center to check on their investment accounts to see the status of the shares they own. Most people in rural areas have never invested in the stock market, and many people came to the Green Arrow event to open an investment account to make their first trade. Gobi Kashmir shares Bimba acquired back in 1990s are now valued at 1.5 million Mongolian tugreks. With the help of the Green Arrow campaign, he learned that he has dividends that can be cashed out or reinvested.
I have a 1.6 million MT shares and 90,000 MT in dividends.
Many other people came to the Green Arrow event to check their securities accounts. They installed a mobile application that allows them to buy and sell stocks on the Mongolian Stock Exchange.
In 1994, I bought shares in 3 companies. The Gobi joint stock company shares are now worth more than 400,000 MT.
The Mongolian Stock Exchange now has just over 5.1 trillion Mongolian tugreks in market capitalization. Industry experts expect the market to reach 12 trillion Mongolian tugreks when the country's major commercial banks launch their IPOs. The Green Arrow campaign was launched to give every Mongolian citizen the opportunity to benefit from the growing market. 5 of the main banks will have to offer their shares to the public by June 30th of this year. We are working to publicize the IPOs of these banks and provide information about what stocks are. Mongolian National Broadcaster's Green Arrow campaign will continue to raise awareness in rural areas of the benefits of investing in stocks.
Studies show that engineering and technology specialists will be in high demand in upcoming years. High school students who are taking university entrance exams in June are advised to choose majors in these areas.
Government studies indicate that 33,000 engineers and technicians will be required in the manufacturing and industrial sectors over the next 5 years. The studies have been conducted as part of the government's new revival policy, which is focused on building major factories and construction projects. Despite this demand, only 12,000 engineers and technicians have graduated from Mongolian universities in the last 5 years. Vocational school graduates, including heavy machinery operators and welders, will also be in high demand in the coming years. State officials say students who choose majors in high-demand fields will have access to tuition loans and other government support under new education policies.
Tuition loans, scholarships and grant aid are now better linked to leading professions and in-demand fields, and the scholarship policy will focus on compensating in-demand specialists. For instance, qualified nursing students will have access to tuition discounts.
There are 143,000 undergraduate and graduate students in Mongolia. Most of them are studying in fields such as law and the economy. However, open positions in these fields are limited and becoming more competitive. In comparison, there are only 42,000 students at technical and vocational colleges. Today is the last day of registration for the university entrance examination. Education officials recommend that high school graduates choose majors that lead to careers in fields that meet today's workforce needs.
Here's the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Spring sowing is underway, and this year Mongolia plans to fully meet its demand for wheat and vegetables through domestic production. This year's weather is expected to be warmer than the previous years. The Agricultural Institute has provided recommendations for different crops. Here are more details about this year's spring planting. A decision was made to reduce nighttime electricity tariffs for greenhouse during winter. There will also be an incentive for organic produce. For example, subsidies of 100,000 MNT will be given for each ton of 10 different vegetables, 6 types of vegetable grown outdoors, and 4 types of greenhouse vegetables.
The government is working on drafting amendments to the law on agriculture. Proposed reforms include introducing an electronic agricultural information system for registering farmers.
Wheat will be planted on 362,000 hectares. About 70,000 hectares will be planted with fodder, 66,000 hectares with oilseed, 17,000 hectares with potatoes, and 12,000 hectares with other vegetables. We are also working to increase the cultivation of vegetables. A decision was made to issue 100 billion MNT in 2-year loans for agricultural producers with a 3% interest rate through a commercial banks. The government has also agreed to offer other low-interest loans through commercial banks.
This year, 54 billion Mongolian tugriks in soft loans will be issued through commercial banks to support potato and vegetable cultivation. The government-subsidized 3% loans will be issued by 8 commercial banks. The main criteria for borrowers is owning land or having a land lease agreement.
Here's the weather forecast of world's major cities. Well, that's all for today, and thank you for staying with us. We will see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.